This is the Pixel 10 Pro XL, and in the last couple of months it has seen a lot of action. From some knocks, to lots of drops, a vacation, and a weird dark cabin, don't ask, to getting caught in possibly the worst rainstorm I have ever been in. I'm Paul, and let's see how this Pixel 10 Pro XL has held up over the past 6 months, and the answer to that one is interesting. I don't know if you remember, but in the review I said that I had a bad few weeks with this phone because the battery was very bad. In the first 3 or 4 weeks, I was hitting 20% battery by early afternoon every single day, and I just wasn't able to get to the end of the day without having to charge it, and it was just genuinely terrible. I did search this, and it wasn't just me having this problem. There was people on Reddit that were complaining about the battery life of the 10 Pro XL and saying that it just wasn't good enough. Now, in September, like middle to end of September, there was an update that made this much better, but I can't say that it's made it amazing because I still have issues with the battery on the 10 Pro XL. It's a mixed feeling because I wouldn't say the battery is amazing. Like at times I still struggle to get to the evening without having to go into low power mode. I usually say that if a phone can last the whole day, then I'm happy, but the fact that this only gets me into early evening at 20%, it's really disappointing. This has got a decently sized battery at just over 5,000 milliamp hours, but actually I just want more from it. I'm curious what the battery life has been like for you guys though, because I speak to some people and they think that this battery is great. It will get them way close to the end of the day without having any sort of issues. But let me know in the comments where you sit, because it seems like it's a little bit hit and miss on this battery. Google have made up for that mediocre battery though with some pretty decently fast charging. This is by far one of my favourite upgrades of the 10 Pros this year. It's that updated, quicker 45-watt charging, and it genuinely has been just the best upgrade on the phone. Getting to 70% in 30 minutes on the XL is pretty much what I get every single time, and it makes really pushing this battery not that much of an issue because you know you're good to go again pretty quickly with a nice quick charge. Having said that though, I only use wire charging when I need a quick charge. Other than that, I pretty much exclusively use Pixelsnap. Oh god, it's so good. I'm not even being dramatic here. I have used Pixelsnap every single day. If that's using the hefty priced Pixelsnap stand, a MagSafe wallet, a kickstand, a power bank, like this has been a complete change in how I use my phone. 80% of the time, I'm exclusively charging this through the Pixelsnap wireless charging. Like it's always on a wireless charger when I sit at my desk, and I just think it is the biggest upgrade on the Pixel 10 series this year. I genuinely do love it. It's a convenience I didn't know I needed until I got it, and I know you could have got MagSafe charging through cases, but I'm not a case guy, so yeah, I'm not about that. But this does give me another chance to beg Google to make a good 3-in-1 charger for your watch, your buds, and your phone. Like, I don't think there's one out there yet. So Google, make this, charge whatever you want and I will buy it. Just please make a good 3-in-1 charger for this. And because Google haven't made that 3-in-1 accessory, that means that I've been able to just buy a load of MagSafe accessories from Amazon and have a little bit of a play and just see what works and what doesn't. There is one thing that I've always found is missing though for Pixelsnap accessories on Amazon, and that is ND filters, because on iPhones you can buy MagSafe ND filters that go over the camera and give you a bit of control when you're actually shooting some pro level video. But the reason you can't get them for a Pixel is because it brings me on to my next complaint here, that the video that you can take with one of the Pixel 10 Pros is not pro level video.
Also, if you like dogs, look at it. Like this is I just like watched 1,000 Dogs, so I'm not even mad if the battery goes, but this view, and then these dogs. This might be my favourite video I've ever made.
Let me start by saying video is mostly good on a Pixel. The stabilization has got better over the last couple of years, and that was always my biggest complaint, and it has improved massively on that main lens, and the way it handles colors and dynamic range is pretty good. You want to capture something quickly with this and you're probably not going to be disappointed. Unless you go into low light, where I found the Pixel, it just can't perform that well. It struggles to get any details, and sometimes there is so much noise in the final image that it's just not usable for much. To make that slightly better, you can use Video Boost, but I've always complained about Video Boost. Like, what it does is great, but the fact you have to turn it on every single time, it's never on by default, it has to go to the cloud to process, so it takes forever. It honestly isn't really worth the time. It's just such a long process. The biggest disappointment in video though is when you want to do something a little bit more professional with the video on a Pixel, but you can't because there's just no pro controls. You can control white balance and exposure, and that's pretty much it. It's behind the S25 and S26 Ultra and the iPhone and even phones from Oppo. I don't want or need pro controls all the time, but I do want the option for when I want to use them. I would love to see Google add a log video recording profile to the Pixel 11 Pros when we get them later on this year. Or you know what, not even a log profile, let me just shoot 120 FPS, because you can do that on almost every other Pro phone, but the Pixel, it's something it's missing. Where my complaints start to disappear is for photos though. I have taken close to 3,500 photos in the few months that I've had the Pixel, and that is because I love this camera. Yeah, it's not a 1-inch sensor, and I know it doesn't have a 200 megapixel telephoto lens, but honestly, this gives me everything that I need. From how those photos are processed to the colors and how it handles nighttime and low light stuff, like this hits almost every time. There are definitely times where I question what is happening in the photos, like this one, and I have no idea what happened to this one. But there is something about a Pixel photo that I think just looks great. It's mostly balanced, it's not too saturated, it's not too contrasty, like it's close to perfect. There are enough controls to play around with if you want to push the photos on your phone just that little bit extra. You can take raw photos, you can do everything that you would need to. I mean, I would really like to see the Pixel go into night sight automatically without you having to go to an extra toggle. And I'd love Google to add in an option to add a filter on the photos like you can do with photogenic styles on the iPhone. But for photos right out of camera with zero editing, I still think the photos you get on the Pixel 10 Pro and 10 Pro XL are probably the best that you can get. I should probably talk about how this phone is actually holding up almost 6 months down the line. I'll tell you now, I am not careful with these phones. They get put into bags and drawers with other phones, dropped and knocked, and for the most part, this is doing just fine. Just the expected scratches that come without using a screen protector. There are definitely some micro scratches and some deeper scratches on this phone that you would kind of expect kind of all over the display, and yeah, that's kind of my fault. So if you're ever going to try and rock this phone without a case, at least use a screen protector because it's going to need it. I love the display, although there are some fairly chunky bezels compared to some other phones out there. The updated speakers sound great. It's a bit heavy, but I can live with it. This definitely depends on how you use your phone, but this is almost perfect. Like, it's a workhorse, it's good at everything, except if you were to try and make the Pixel 10 Pro do some gaming. That's where it lets itself down a little bit. I don't do much gaming outside of COD, and even that is rare, but this is where you start to see the limitations of the Tensor G5. And that is the only place, being honest, that you're going to notice the Tensor G5 may be stuttering. You are never going to notice that this is not as powerful as other phones. Like, every time I come back to the Pixel from a phone that is being powered by the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5, I think the Pixel holds its own. It is optimized so well that you just don't notice that power, and I'm still on the fence where if you're paying for that power, you probably want as much power as you can get for it, but you really are not going to notice the difference unless you go out looking for them, which most people don't. I'm not giving Google a buyout here. I'm not saying that the Tensor G5 is the best chip in the world, because it's not, but it's good enough. Like, it does everything you need it to do. Let's have a look at software, and Android 16 on a Pixel is great. It's quick. The Pixel drop updates over the last few months have been really nice. Now being able to swap between a few icon shapes and add the Wicked theme is interesting, and I cannot wait to be able to remove at a glance as soon as that comes out of the beta. It's very simple on a Pixel, like it doesn't confuse you, it doesn't give you too much, although I would like a little bit more customization on the Pixel phones. I mean, something a little bit more along the lines of One UI with Samsung. Besides changing a few themes and some colours, there isn't really much you can do outside of that without a third-party launcher, so I would like just a little bit more customization. You'll have noticed I've got this far into the video and not mentioned AI Want Share, and that's because on the Pixel 10 Pro XL, I've barely used any AI features on this. ProRes Zoom, nope. Camera Coach, absolutely not. Magic Q barely works. Ask Photos, you can't use this outside of the US, so I've never touched it. And you might think that me not having used these is a negative, but I think it's a positive, because the good thing is that I don't need to use them. Like, they're not in your face, they're not pushing you to use them at every single opportunity. If I want to use them, they are there, but I'm not forced to use them. I'm not making excuses for Google when it comes to Magic Q. Like, for me, this has been a bit of a failure. It hasn't really worked, but I do still like I'm not forced to use these AI features. Something that Google could add though to the Pixels, and this doesn't have to just be the Pros, it could be all of the Pixels, is the option to turn off cloud-based AI tasks. Samsung do this and do it quite well actually. It means that you can just use on-device AI, so it's much quicker without having to go to the cloud. For example, I complained about Video Boost because it was slow, and that's because it's cloud-based, so being able to turn that off might be a nice little addition. Having used the Pixel 10 Pro for 6 months though, there are definitely some annoying habits that this phone has, which you tend to only realise if you use it more than a couple of weeks. Instagram has this weird horrible crop when you try posting a story inside the app. I wish there was a better standby screen for when using Pixelsnap. And let me admit something I was wrong about. I said that when I was reviewing this phone that eSIMs, it doesn't matter if it's an eSIM only phone. I was wrong. eSIMs are not the one yet. Until carriers can sort out swapping eSIMs easily, I just wish that this still had a physical SIM card slot, because I am sick to death of the problems with eSIMs. It's so annoying. Besides those few little annoyances, the way I see the Pixel 10 Pros this year is that it is pretty much the perfect everyday phone. The cameras are great, software is great, battery life is mostly okay. You have Pixelsnap, you get updates first. If you have Pixel Buds and a Pixel Watch, the ecosystem is great. Having said that though, I still don't think that you should be buying the Pixel 10 Pro at its full price, because actually in a sea of Pro and Ultra phones, the Pixel 10 Pro just doesn't stand out enough. It does give you a lot of what you need, which is great, but it doesn't go the extra mile. An iPhone has the option to record in OpenGate. Samsung have log video. The Find X9 Pro has a 7,500 mAh battery, and even the likes of Honor give you more Pro features than you get on a Pixel 10 Pro. If you were to buy this on a sale, which it goes on sale loads, like I would say you're not going to be disappointed, but if you want to get a few more Pro or Ultra features out of your Pixel and you're buying it for that, that's where I think you will be slightly disappointed, because it's not quite the Pro of an iPhone or the Ultra of a Galaxy S25 or S26 Ultra. But let me know in the comments what your thoughts are on the Pixel 10 Pro and the 10 Pro XL if you've been using it over the last couple of months. I'm curious to see what you guys think about this and what Google can do to make this more of a Pro phone. Like, if you agree with me, and if you don't, let me know. Before you head off, if you can subscribe to the channel, we'd really appreciate it. And if you do that, then I'll see you in the next video.